Hey, what's up? My name's Cameron, and I have a love-hate relationship with Apple headphones. I think they're absolutely beautiful. They sound great, and they have some incredible features. However, I have had a myriad of problems over the years, and I wanted to do just a roundup of these issues, along with any solutions that I've found for those issues, in hopes that they'll help you to avoid similar challenges or solve them if you've got them. If you find one of these useful, please let me know down in the comments. Problem number 1 relates to a defect with the AirPods Pros. My 4th video ever back in 2021 was about a replacement program for AirPods Pros. Thankfully, I think this issue is all but dead, but the page does still exist on Apple's support website, so if you have an old pair of AirPods Pros from before October 2020, I believe was the manufacturing date cutoff, and you've got crackling, static, or issues with noise cancellation, check out the page linked in the video description and try taking them into an Apple store. You may get them replaced for free. You can also check out my original video about my experience. Just please don't judge me for the quality back then. We've come a long way. Problem number 2 relates to Apple headphones falling out of my ears. Now, I have always had issues with Apple headphones falling out. This goes all the way back to the wired earpod days, where even the slightest brush against the headphone cable would just eject them from my left ear. Now, with AirPods and then AirPods Pros, what I've learned is that I actually have 2 very different sized ears, and the left one in particular is very small. Since the original AirPods Pros shipped with small, medium, and large rubber tips, I still had the issue with my left ear falling out very regularly. When the second generation came around, they introduced an extra small version of the ear tip. Turns out that's what I needed. So if you're in the same boat as me and you have the original AirPods, you can actually order specifically a set of extra small ear tips for just $8. And it may save you the annoyance of having your AirPods falling out regularly. Note that the replacement ear tips are differentiated between first and second generation models. The website does very clearly state that they are only compatible with those specific models. However, the way that they attach does not change. The only thing that changes is some tiny mesh on the inside of the ear tip, which apparently has been fine-tuned based on audio differences between the 2 headphones. From my experience, unless you're a true audiophile, you will very likely not notice any difference and probably should not be concerned. However, they are the same exact cost, so if you don't need the extra small tips like I did, then you probably just want to stick to the version that matches your model just to be safe. Problem number 3 is removing the AirPods Pro's ear tips. Removing the ear tips is just genuinely such a hassle. On multiple occasions, I've had a catastrophic incident where I have completely ripped ear tips when trying to remove them. Now, you may need to remove your ear tips either to change out to a different size, as we just talked about, or to just do a thorough cleaning. In either case, just tugging on them works early on, but as you've had these headphones for some time, the rubber ages and becomes more brittle and therefore prone to ripping, as mine did. I don't know about you, but despite watching dozens of how-to videos trying to find a reliable method, just pinching and pulling, as is described as the way to remove the ear tips, does not work for me. So my alternative method is to use a very small and very thin flathead screwdriver. You can very lightly insert it into the tiny little slot at the base of the ear tip. Don't overdo it, as this slot has some mesh at the very end and you don't want to puncture that. Then lightly press upward until you feel a pop. Once it pops, you're good to go. Hopefully never ripping another ear tip again. Obviously, goes without saying, but this is not an Apple recommended approach, so do take care not to damage things when wielding a screwdriver around delicate materials like this. Problem number 4 is actually caused by Apple headphones working a little bit too well. One of the magic features of Apple headphones is their ability to seamlessly change from device to device. This is incredible when you're watching something on an iPad, for example, then you get a phone call and without doing anything to your headphones, you take the call through your AirPods via your phone. Then when you're done, it's right back to what you were doing before. This is great, genuinely, when it works. However, I ran into an issue with my wife, particularly during the pandemic, when we both had a pair of AirPods and were using a shared iPad. In this case, the iPad was set up on a stationary bike for different workouts. If I was using my headphones with my phone, for example, and she started something on the iPad, it would jump the audio over and would pause whatever I was doing. This got very annoying, and if you have this issue, here's the solution. Go into the shared device that's causing the issue, the one that you don't want to automatically jump to, then go to Settings, Bluetooth, and select the eye next to your headphones. Choose the Connect to this device option and change from automatically to when last connected. This doesn't solve the problem 100% of the time, but it will take some of the headache out of the automatic device pairing for shared devices. This brings me to number 5 and the most recent issue I've had. Day to day, I've switched over my listening to the Beats Fit Pros, which are also made by Apple. You can check out my review to learn why I love them so much. However, the problem I ran into was the result of cleaning them. As anyone who's had rubber-tipped headphones will know, earwax buildup in the ear tips over time is disgusting. Don't worry, I will spare you the 4K B-roll in this instance. My typical method for resolving this is to do a quick swipe with a Q-tip around and then inside the tip, which usually does a sufficient enough job. Only when they get really bad do I remove the tips and give them a thorough wash. However, one time recently I was doing this and I noticed there was something inside the ear tip. Now there's a small screen that separates the inside of the headphone from the outside. When I swiped that Q-tip in there, this came free. I tried to put it back, it was sticky with some glue, but it was no use. So now in one side I have this mesh and in the other side I don't have it. This has presented 2 issues. Number 1, the audio is just slightly off. And when using noise cancellation, especially on a plane, I've noticed, there's a bit of a whistling sound that develops in the ear that's missing the mesh. It's not so annoying that they're unusable, but it's made the experience markedly worse. Number 2 is that now there's nothing preventing said earwax from making its way down into the headphone itself. On the AirPods Pros, there is a mesh on the headphone and on the ear tip, but that's not the case for the Beats. I have no idea what this might do long term, but I don't think it would be good. Unfortunately, since I don't have a solution to this one, fingers crossed that they announce the Beats Fit Pro 2 soon enough. Thank you so much for watching. If you've had other challenges with Apple headphones, please drop them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.